different woods going on and
Textures,
everything else. Yes.
Feels.
So good day to all of you. We are super happy for you to be joining us this morning. And of course, we are going to talk about a new little topic today, which is leveraging fear. Fear, it's a really spot on topic these days, I have to say, because there's a lot of fear going on, and like whether some people think it may not be necessary fear, other people think yes, it is necessary fear. It doesn't matter. We still have to figure out what the heck do we do with this encompassing feeling of fear, because it's not a happy or good feeling to feel in fear all the time if you don't know what to do with it.
It's paralyzing.
Yes.
And fear, false evidence appearing real? Is that it?
I think so.
But it's kind of interesting because there are true, real fears. So it's just acknowledging what those are. And of course, how do we still move through it, even though our entire gut
says yucky
is feeling all of this yuckiness of fear. But we're going to hopefully give you guys, gals, all of you, peeps, our family, because what are we? We are life changers. All of you, all of us. So we are going to give you at least some steps that can hopefully help you work through just even your day. Even if all you use this info for is for today, that's cool and that is good.
So, of course, we always want to know, and I see Libby's on already. Good morning, lovely Libby. We want to know who you are and where you're from, because we always like to know who we're talking to on here as well. So throw in your name and where you're from so we can find out that piece. And, of course, throw in that other hashtag, holy jumping tuna fish. There it is.
There we go.
Carrie's never, she's never going to figure out neither of us will, how it flips us on this. You can't mirror it properly, so it's always backwards.
And always confused.
But if there's something that you really hits home with you today, or you feel like, yeah, that's information I need to know, throw in that hashtag for us, or the little tuna fishies, because then we always like to know what's kind of appealing to you as well. And of course, as I always like to say, share, 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 because sharing is caring. And this is, like Libby said, a really timely subject. So if there's anybody in your life that you know could use a hand getting through some of this fear, this is a good one to share out. So please do share it out to the masses, because we are all life changers, as Carrie said, and it's up to us to kind of make sure that we're making sure we put a good something, a piece of good out there in every single day of our lives to do our best to help move others forward, because that's what it's all about, is helping other people.
That's true. That is exactly what purpose is.
That is true.
That is very true.
For who we are, my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, as well as an instructor and a facilitator for the Equine Connection, the Academy of Equine Assisted Learning, Inc. Thank God we don't make that a hashtag.
Oh my goodness, I totally agree.
The longest hashtag of all time.
Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Fulmick, the founder of the Equine Connection, a master instructor helping people globally around the world do what it is what we do, and that is actually working with horses to actually help human beings to move forward. Like, it's sometimes outrageously so bizarre, because you're like, what do you mean? Like, there's no riding in our programs. We actually allow the horse to actually teach and help humans, because the number one thing a horse needs to feel is safe. And I have to take that right now, because you see, even for that fear piece that we're going to be dealing with, and even paralleling it to what a horse needs, if we do not feel safe, there is no way on this earth that we can put intention to even moving forward, because you can't. That's where the fear piece can really paralyze us. With a horse, the beauty for our horses, our prey animals, is they've got that already in them. When there is a fear component, what do? They take flight and go. Well, not all of us in the world can do those things. And of course, sometimes we do have those abilities for flight. Carolyn always says, we always talk about this, because horses are flight, but
we're fight or
humans,
flight. Yeah.
We're flight or fight. And Carolyn always says she's going to stay and fight.
I'm going to have to.
Physically.
Yeah, because when they catch me, and they will, because I'm not a good runner, then I'll have to fight, and I'll already be tired. So I got to fight right off the bat, otherwise I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, and I'm a chicken liver of the sea, so I would probably take flight, but I still think they'd still catch me.
She'd leave me to fight, and she'd run away. That's what would happen, and then she'd run back when I was.
That's right. If she called out for help, then I would run back again. But you see, it's good knowing who your peeps are around you for fear in flight or fight. So those are good things. But seriously, even just having that human being to understand what horses do for us. And, if the number one thing is horse needs to feel safe, that means we as humans bring a lot of stuff to our horses that make us as humans unsafe.
So true.
So it's so nice when we can help ourselves. And that's what today is all about, is just being here in the moment and what we can do in fear, and some steps that we can actually use. I would say definitely today, I would grab a piece of paper or a journal. You do this with your kids, with maybe you have parents in nursing homes or that you can't see them. Like maybe just doing just one short little thing today in how we as each human can survive today.
Yes.
Because that's all we got is today.
And just before we get into this super side random note, because of where the frame is, it makes it look like I've got kitty ears.
Kitty ears.
Yeah, look at my head. You see the little ears?
Oh, I do. That is adorable.
There they are.
Oh yeah, I like that.
What's with my hair? But no, it's just the frame. Anywho, super weird side note. You're welcome, everybody. Going into the fears, first of all, they're normal. They can be useful for us. There's lots of steps we can take, but it's okay to feel fear. In fact, I think in a lot of ways we should. If you're in a dark alley and you feel somebody walking behind you, yes, fear, adrenaline, good stuff to have, right? Fears are things that are just normal in our life. It's just making sure we understand enough about fear and what the fears are to really be able to get through it rather than living in a state of fear, because that's not good for anybody. And I know you guys have probably heard me talk about that water study that was done before on how our molecules actually change dependent on the words we really say to ourselves. And fear is one of those ones. Yeah, the study was done on music, but our whole bodies are made up of a good chunk of water. So when we have different intentions or we're living in a state of fear or sadness or anything else all the time, it literally breaks our molecules down so that they aren't working like they should. So getting a place of fear where you can move forward with it is where we're trying to get you at today.
The other day I was writing down, because again, all of us, I believe even Tony Robbins, every human on this planet is in a somewhat kind of a fear place in each individual's own fears. So I thought, you know what? I don't want to ever live this way, because my number one thing is, in case I die today, I still want to be a contribution to the purpose and on this earth. So I wrote down, when have been the times that I have literally understood fear and fear actually existed? So there actually has only been 3 times in my life that I have gone over where fear truly was present and what it is you could or you couldn't do in that fear. But I remember I was working at Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's right, 18 years old, making a career, because that's what I did. I didn't want to go to school, right? So I remember we were closing up one night and I got robbed. And I tell you, when I saw that gun, all I could see is the barrel. Like I couldn't even hear what the guy was saying. I think it's just an automatic response. He was there to rob you. So all I kept looking at was this barrel of the gun. And all my brain in this mode of, I don't know if you still call that fear, because you're doing the motions, but you're not understanding exactly what's happening. But all I thought in that moment is, oh my gosh, this is it. This is now the end of my life. I got all the way here, moving up in Kentucky Fried Chicken.
18 years
old. 18 years old. This is my life. So obviously I did survive. I gave him all of the money and he left. And it wasn't even until, I would say, at least 10 minutes after the robbery that my brain actually figured out what literally happened. And then my entire body just shook and I bawled and I bawled. And that to me was a huge revelation for myself as to what I was going to do with my life. Like there was just something that I had to do that was going to be different, because I didn't want to take that chance of being in that fear piece again. And not to say I couldn't. I can go anywhere. I can go to McDonald's and there can be a gun there. It's scary where these guns are located, right?
And that's genuine fear when you have a gun pointed at you. That
was
real
scary.
Fear. Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that where your whole mentality of we are going to die came from?
You bet.
That moment.
Because that moment I knew, your moment, my moment, we don't know what moment we're going to die. So we got to live the now. Okay. In the healthiest of ways.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I want you to understand, like, when my brain thinks I can die today, it makes me go into emotion of, okay, so if you could die today, Carrie, what is it that you're going to do to contribute today? Because I can't just sit in bed. I can't go in a corner. I can't not live in life, even though we're all living in a very different place. It's just not what I can do, even though I feel it. I still feel everything that's going on right now, but I just don't want to stay in that moment of feeling that fear. I want to be proactive and in understanding what it is that I'm fearful of.
And I think that's a really good segue into this next piece as well, because it really is about, like, what's the proof of the fear? What's the knowledge that you need to gain? Because fear and risk, I think people put things together sometimes. Like, there's a difference of a fear of spiders than there is a risk of buying a house.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it can be fearful, but it's a risk associated that you can really break it down and figure out why and move forward with it. Those are the kind of things that you can figure out. What's the proof behind it? What is the knowledge you can gain to make the scary a little less scary, right? And to, again, be able to move with it as well.
That is so true. And I love knowledge. Knowledge, you know, I mean, living life in just, you got to feel it and move through it. That is beautiful too. But when you have more knowledge, it actually helps you to understand what is the fear piece to the knowledge. I love facts. I love research. I love things that help me to understand that something could be false or fake, or something could be more real. But I also love knowledge and knowing that we each individually get to have our own piece to the knowledge that fills each of our souls or each of our minds. And I don't have to be on the same page with how Carolyn feels with it in her fear. I just have to acknowledge that I have the knowledge and understanding what my personal fear is, and Carolyn's got for her personal fear.
Yeah.
This is a good one to actually bring in for fear. Shannon.
Ryan. She said, just purchased a farm last year and I've been competing and coaching for years. I want to turn my farm into a therapeutic facility. Beautiful.
That is wonderful. And here, you know, that's a fearful component as well, especially nowadays. And I think, you know, the fear piece to us even being entrepreneurs, starting our own businesses, still moving forward, because that's what we got to do. We got to continually move forward. And, you know, the dream with the fear is so funny. Well, or some people don't think it's funny, but
not like funny, ha.
No, but it is bizarre how a lot of things, when we decide to move forward through that fear, will hit us like roadblocks. And you see, the roadblocks are your opening, because now you're in a different position in that fear and you want to open it up. Do I need to drill through it? Do I need to pound through it? Do I need to get a rope and go over it? Like, there's so many different ways, because we got to prove ourselves that, hey, even through this fear piece, we still have those components and how we know how to understand and move through it. So that is lovely. All roadblocks, I always think, are the opening to how much you want this dream.
That's so funny, because we were just talking to somebody yesterday about that. And they were looking at signing up for the course, and she's like, oh, and then this happened with my daughter, and then she needs a flight out. And I was thinking, how the heck am I going to get that? And all of these things keep coming up, and we're like, that's exactly what happens. Because then at that point, that's when you decipher, okay, how bad do I want this? Because it is like that little, not a test, but kind of a test of like, how bad do you want to move forward through something? Because there's always going to be an excuse not to do something. But you got to figure out the ways to make things work. My dad always used to say to me growing up all the time, knowledge is power, knowledge is power, knowledge is power. And he was a big believer in us going to like secondary education and all that kind of thing as well. And I did, but the knowledge that I've gained throughout life is absolutely power. And as a kind of analytical person, I have to say that even when it comes to a fear, being able to step back for a second, acquiring the knowledge that I need, whether it's, and I don't think you make a pros and cons list very often, but I will make a pros and cons list of like what works for me, so I can take the fear, turn it into maybe what's risky about it or what's making me nervous about it, and then figure out how do those steps go forward from there to be able to kind of break it down. But knowledge truly is power. The more you can know about things gives you strength in knowing that you're doing the right thing for you as well.
And that's the only thing we have control on in our lives is the moment we live in. So whether it be that fear component, understanding the knowledge piece, we actually have control, all of us, right at this very given moment, how we're going to start the next moment. Because we can just stay there, but we can always choose to take that next moment, because moments are lovely, even in the rough times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so once we've got a little bit of knowledge there, why does this keep going away? It's very irritating.
Not sure. And is there more of us out there? I like to see people.
Yeah, we've got Libby and Heidi and Shannon. Feel free to tell us who you are, where you're from. We'd like to know. Feel free. Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Okay, so when we go into this next piece, again, we were just talking about taking the knowledge piece of it, but you got to reframe it. Right? Because if we're not talking, if you have arachnophobia and you're desperately scared of spiders, it's not like you're necessarily going to be able to stop in that moment and say, what is the knowledge behind this? But it's something maybe you can prepare yourself for next time you encounter a spider or something like that. But it's really reframing what that fear is. And that kind of takes us to a faith aspect. Now, it doesn't matter if you are Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, you believe in Mother Nature, the energy of the world, it doesn't matter. Faith is faith. It's not necessarily a designated piece, but we all get our faith from somewhere different, or from even ourselves.
Feels us different as well.
Absolutely.
Feels.
Doesn't feel us.
Yeah, because it did sound like I said feel, didn't it?
Yeah, I like that you did the water pouring though, just so we really got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, and we've got Maurice from St. Albert, Ontario, and Lori from Airdrie. Hi, Lori.
Welcome, everyone.
I have a good quote that I maybe will read about the faith piece too here. So this one is by Edward Teller. When you come to the end of all the light you know, and it's time to step into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing that one of two things shall happen. Either you'll be given something solid to stand on, or you will be taught to fly.
Baka Joe Taka. That's a holy jump into an
It really is, because what a great definition of faith. It's a beautiful piece.
It is. And you know how I said earlier, take out a piece of paper or a journal? Here's the thing with fear. You could have many different fears going on right now. You could have fear for even what your children are going through, your parents, you personally, your hubby, your partner, your job, your business.
Doing online schooling as a parent.
Yeah, like there's so many things. So in this moment, in just this day, what I always suggest is just take the one thing. What's the biggest fear that you have right now? Only work with the one fear, because when you throw what we were just saying, like 10 in there, it gets so overwhelming. You just say, oh, screw it. I'm just going to have to learn to live with it this way. Well, you don't. You don't have to. Just take the one fear that you feel is the most prominent in your life right now to deal with that.
And don't make it something intangible. like, I really, my fear is this world and COVID, and I just want it all to go away. Well, you can't control wholly and fully. Take the thing that you can control, the thing that you can actually move forward with, that's something that is just for you, that you can actually reframe in a different way for yourself.
Exactly.
If we could just snap our fingers, I tell you, we would have done it already.
Yeah, and I would have done my little bewitchy nose.
Yep. No.
But no. I wonder if she did that on TV.
I don't know.
Because she was able to
every time I do it, I just flare my nostrils, which isn't nearly as cute.
Yeah, no, she was so darn cute for her. And only if you're old like I am, older. I don't know. Well, you know who Bewitched
only
is.
If
but
you're
you,
cool.
How do you know Bewitched?
Because I'm a very old soul. I don't know why I know all of these old things.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, definitely reframing those fears, figuring out a different way to look at something, or a different opportunity that can come from something that you are maybe afraid of as well.
With your faith. And with that faith too, always keep in mind, you are a life changer. Remember, we are life changers. By you doing this one simple little exercise today, which seems big, one simple exercise, you're changing probably someone else's life. It could be your kid, it could be your mom, it could be your sister, whatever it is to help you to control that component and what you're going through in your fear. just by the way you change in your attitude and the way you're moving through the day will help someone else, because you're a life changer. We are life changers.
I have to say that's such a valid point for right now, especially like for myself as a parent. Like the kids, they feel it, whether we're saying things or not, it doesn't matter. They are feeling what is going on. They feel our frustration on top of their own little frustration. They've got so much going on in their little bitty bodies that they don't even know what to do. I have never heard of children talk about politics so much. Their kid go to the playground, right? And like talk about those politics yet. I have never heard kids know so much about the world around them that yes, it's a good thing that they are aware, but at the same token, like what's happening to their little childhood pieces too. So we really do have to get ourselves into a place where we can allow them to still be the people that they need to be for this time in their lives as well. There's my little soapbox for the day. Take action. That's the hardest part.
It really is. You know, it's like when you believe in something and you keep talking about it, but then you don't ever go do it. If we don't do the action piece, then the fear just will continue to exist. We have to, what is the action? The action is being bold in that one fear that you have, and the only control that you have with it, having the faith that you know you are a life changer, we are a life changer, and whatever that one fear is. But now we have to be bold enough to act on that. We can't just talk about it anymore. I mean, that's for all of us globally. Talking just, well, I'm
it's exhausting.
Yeah, exactly. But acting really shows who it is that you are and what you stand for in this very, well, very scary time that we're all going through. Because it is. It's just pure scary.
And really anything without action is just, eventually it becomes exhausting. We've all had the friend who has the same problem over and over again, right? And they come and they say to you, oh my gosh, this is happening. It's still going on. And this goes on for years and years and years. What happens to your friend? Well, nothing changes for them, except for the fact that you as a friend no longer really want to have that conversation where it just is exhausting, right? So if we take action, that's when something's actually going to change. You can make all the plans in the world and gain yourself all of the knowledge, but if you just sit in it, nothing changes, nothing happens, nothing moves forward, and you're still stuck in the thoughts that goes with those fears.
You know, and I do have to say just how you're commenting there, the action is moving. And just like with horses, I love to parallel things with horses because it's outrageous what they can teach us in our own safety. When a horse moves forward, you will start to see how a horse then starts to bring his head down. He starts to think more, because that's where they think, his lower heads. They don't think with high heads. We got a lot of high human beings out there right now. Ooh, and I have seen some mean and nasty things like that. I am dying that humans can say such horridness to each other. I hardly even like to go on these social media platforms anymore because there's so many meanness, so many unkindness. I don't know what to tell you, but it's shocking.
Kindness goes a long freaking way, though, people. If we can just do one thing and it's be kind, you don't have to have the same opinion as somebody else, but you can still be kind. Like you see people attacking people at the personal level for having a different opinion. That's not how this is all supposed to be working with. Again, that's
anyways, let's go back to moving again. Okay. So that moving forward, just like with a horse, as we put our action in, so whatever that one thing is today that you're going to do with that one fear that you have, when you move in it, you feel better, because movement actually makes our brain think differently. If we just stand and we are like frozen, and let's say we do stay here in fear and we keep thinking and feeling all the fears that we are having, you see, we don't do anything and it doesn't help us. We just feel sicker. We feel maybe angrier. We feel sadder. We feel, and all the sad people in the world. It makes me so sad right now too. I want to help all of you. If there is any of you that is so sad, or you still don't see how even today is a good day, contact us, because we are always here for you. Like,
so true.
Always here for you. But if we stay here, you see, this is no good for us. We literally have to put an action in, even if it's just 5 steps to go somewhere else. It will literally help our human bodies to feel better and our brains think again. So again, horses, up here, take them for a walk forward. See what happens when you keep moving forward with the horse.
Yeah.
They love it because they love to be in that thinking. They like, because that keeps them safer, where head high, adrenaline is rushing in, and you see, they no longer think. I think this is where a lot of humans are living right now, and we're not supposed to
worry. Yeah. And just stuck within that. Actually, I love this quote too.
Okay.
I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. That's by Mark Twain. And it's so true. We can look so much into the what ifs, into the fears, into the risks, into the what's the worst that could happen, rather than moving out of that and seeing what's the best that could come from it as well, right? We get stuck in those places where it might not even be something that's truly there in the first place.
Oh, that's freaking true. However, we know this one that we're all going through. There are lots of things that, of course, are absolutely true that are happening. But again, with your trueness and the knowledge for your fear piece, you still got to understand your piece to the whole part of the fear versus just yipping and talking and just being paralyzed with it, because it's okay that each of us has our own individual different fear. It's actually quite lovely, because that's the freedom part to being, that's actually, that's action. Freedom is action by cracking. I saw this little bear. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to say it. Squirrel.
Bear.
But okay, this was on Facebook, but I cried and I thought, okay, Carrie, maybe you just need to cry because you're too heavy in what's happening right now. But this bear had been in a cage. Like, I don't even understand how any animal can be in a cage. Like, that's so small, right? For beyond years and years and years. They finally got this black bear freed. So, of course, taking baby steps to get him to be okay to go to like freedom, because he doesn't know yet, right? So he goes to touch the grass and he pulls back his paw.
Oh.
He goes to touch the grass and he pulls back his paw. He had never seen grass before. You see, it was like, I know. And then I bawled when he actually stepped on it. It's like, and then he rolled on it, and then he just was in his moment. Like, it was the most freeing thing he'd ever felt in his life. And I mean, I don't speak bear, but just from what I saw with his body language, oh my goodness, it was just so beautiful.
You don't speak bear.
I don't speak bear.
You're going to have to work on that. So you know exactly what it is.
I speak horse and elephants.
And elephants.
Yes.
I'd say you got a little dog and cat knowledge there too. You do.
I guess so. Yeah. But I think I more intuitively always want to go more to the horse and the elephants versus. But I love my cats and dogs. Don't get me wrong. We keep getting them all the time.
People, we don't know if we speak people all the time.
We don't know speaking people.
But that's not true. It's funny when we were talking about we were doing a course yesterday on communication, and one of the girls said, we just took something on this as well, saying that body language is actually what makes up majority of communication and eye contact and how we hold ourselves and that kind of thing. And it's so true. And it's the same, if we can look at humans the same way we look at animals, in that case, we say a lot more than we ever think that we're actually saying just through our entire body alone. And that goes again with even that moving forward with fear piece. Because if we're just sitting there stuck and literally stuck, that puts all of us in stuck mode. The entire piece, head to toe, is in stuck mode at that point, rather than moving forward or opening up or girls out, as Carrie always says, or pecs out for the fellas, whatever it may be. But it's opening ourselves up to something new and different that we can move forward into as well.
And it's courageous when you know what your fear is. Like, it really is. My stepson, he is a drug addict. He's doing really, really wonderful. He's been at this place for, I don't know, the last year and a half, but it's taken him until he's like 43 to be at a good place in his recovery. Okay. But the one thing we were talking about the other day, I was telling him a couple of my fears that are happening in my life right now. He goes, Carrie, that's the one thing we always talk about in our gatherings is, if you can't admit what your fear is, how do you actually move through the fear? And I'm like, that is good. It doesn't mean that fear piece has changed. He was just saying to admit that that's the fear piece that you have is a release, because then people know where you stand. You know where you stand. I'm like, oh, that's good. That was good knowledge that I did not have before. But courage is a competitive advantage. Because when you have that courage, well, then you do have that knowledge, you do have that faith, and you do have that action. So really take that one component, what we just talked about in the fear, but now bring it into that courageous piece, which is really a very competitive advantage.
And it doesn't have to feel like it's the biggest thing. Sometimes just taking that first step. And that's the courageous piece that leads to the rest of things opening up for you as well, right? It doesn't have to be that you're finished everything and successful to be courageous. It's just moving and taking that first step to start your path.
You know, and it's so funny. I used to remember, I love cooking. I love having a glass of wine on a Saturday night and looking out at the mountains and just talking with my hubby, or if my daughter comes by. Well, I have 3 daughters, but only one can come by because she lives right here, more or less. But, you know, I used to love doing that and putting on the music and just being in the moment. And, you know, for, I'd say, a year, that hasn't existed anymore. Because even for me to even want to do, let's go cook this Saturday, I know we're going to do it. It's the pieces that we will do, but it doesn't feel as fun anymore. It doesn't feel like it used to. So you see, maybe even in that fear piece, wherever I am at, I don't know if it's again, we all have choice through it too. I'm not sure if I just want to go there yet. I feel like I need to get more, let's look after one fear at a time before we start. I don't know. I don't know.
Uncertainty develops a lot of fear, I think, too. And it's not like that would be normalcy, but when something normal doesn't feel the same, I think that feeds the fear a little bit, right? Because
Maybe
you're like, this is something normal that I should love, and I'm not loving it right now. So why am I not loving it? Well, because of this and this and this and this and this that's happening around me, right? It just, and then it fuels the other side. So maybe that's that little self-protection piece that, you know, if you do that, then it's going to lead to that. You don't need to go there right now. And it's just delving into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but it is interesting. And I know we're all still going through it in our own very special ways. And we'll just call them very special ways, because this is how we as humans deal with things. But it really is very courageous to let one know what your fear piece is. There's nothing wrong with that. And hopefully everyone's nice to you if you do admit some sort of fear. Only do it to the very special people in your life. Don't put it on Facebook, by cracky.
I have to say there is some courage involved with that. Rachel's on here as well. She's one of our facilitators from out in Nova Scotia. And that girl, she puts vulnerability on the line. She puts it out there as to where she's at, how she's feeling. And does everybody always react beautifully as they should? No. But she's still like, and that's paying it forward. That's being that life changer piece of being vulnerable enough to put your stuff out there and give people the opportunity to do the same thing with you back. So I got to give kudos, because it is hard to do on social media, especially.
I 100% agree. I mean, I followed Rachel a lot in some things, and I remember, I remember one that I'm like, how could anyone say anything mean about what was said? Like, my brain can't comprehend these things. But yeah, you are a fighter. You know what? We're all fighters in our own ways as well. Like, I have to tell you, my fight is always freedom. I would fight until I could fight no more. What? For animals, for humans. I love freedom, because freedom allows us to cook and dance and be merry and
not be stuck in an office.
Oh, see? And an office is my cage. See, there's no freedom.
I gotta say, one whole wall of the office was windows. She still couldn't handle it. It was because it leads into another hallway. That's not freedom. I can't even see outside from here.
Oh, freedom. And I think even for all of us who are moms, we would all become the black bears. We would all become the bear to save our child. So you see, I believe that a lot of us have a fight in us.
That's the
healthy fight.
Yeah, and the stories of people, like their kids trapped in their car, and a mom goes up and lifts the car.
And just lifts it.
I can totally see that. I can completely see it, because when it's those things that you have the passion for, the love for, the belief for, that's where that good fight lives within us. And it's funny how often we are willing to fight for the people we love and care about more than we are willing to fight for ourselves.
That's true.
It's very true. We have a protective instinct in a lot of us that it's funny, we don't protect ourselves the same way that we would somebody else, right? Like Carrie in the running, right? I'm back there fighting. She would be gone. And then she would say, oh no, Carolyn does need help. Against my better knowledge, I will go back and help her. And those are the things that we do for other people, but we wouldn't necessarily put that same fight for ourselves all the time. So maybe just something to think about. If you do it for others, maybe you should do it for yourself.
So I was thinking too, what you should all do, just even type in the comments, make sure that you understand. And I want you to understand, put in the hashtag, we are life changers, because you really got to know, it doesn't matter what is happening right now. You are still a part of this whole earth, and we are life changers. And even by joining us today on this live, we are in this together. We are trying to figure out ways that we can actually enjoy, breathe, and live in our moments that we've been given.
In kindness.
In kindness.
Well,
yeah, and hashtag, we are life changers.
Yes.
It's just so darn good.
I love some of these. Lenore, good morning to Maurice and Penny. And Lenore says she will fight for others and animals before herself. So true, right? Yep. So it's always, we got to fight for ourselves too. But I love Libby's. Sometimes when enjoyable, familiar activities aren't fun anymore, it may mean you have outgrown them. Not a bad thing, but a little push to be creative in our rituals that nourish us. Very well.
That is
said,
very
Libby.
well said. But I love cooking and wine and dance and music. Libby, I do. And that is a wine.
She likes wine.
I like wine with my wine.
And I love Rachel's too. Thanks, ladies. It's having this family that gives me the courage to continue on being the life changers. We work better together. Every little action changes someone's life somehow. So very true.
You bet, little
and
sister.
Lisa, good girl, Lisa.
Yes, she's got the We Are Life Changers. Come on, everybody. Type it in. We are life changers. We are life changers. We are life changers. We are life changers. Okay, nobody's doing. Well, Lisa, yeah.
And we can't hear them, and there's a little lag, so it could all come through, and we'll be like, "Oh, yay!"
Yeah.
So there is one thing, we didn't have a giveaway, but I actually really liked this article. Maybe I could email.
Yeah, sure. Them. Let's do that. Let's give them something.
So I found this article on Fear for Good: 4 Lessons on Leveraging Your Fear and Moving Forward by Zach Arendt. And I thought it was a really, really fantastic article. So if you guys would like that article, I can definitely send you a link to it. I will throw up my email address here. Maybe. Nope. Different. That one.
There she is.
So if you guys want to throw me an email at carolyn@equineconnection.ca, I am more than happy to send this one off to you, because I thought it was a really good read. Not super long, but just some ways that we were talking about today as well to kind of leverage your fear, take it to a different spot. So it's not in that stuck place, but a moving forward. Switch up the elements, Libby says. What about a barbecue summer with wine?
Okay, I like that. I see where you're going, little sister. Okay.
They're coming
I love
in
it.
now.
Okay. That makes me super duper happy. Oh, and Tammy, I hope your foot is okay. I just saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my. But I love your positive attitude. That is totally cool, girl. Now you just have everybody bring you everything.
That's right. That's the way to do it.
But have an amazing, amazing day. No matter what fear we are going through in our life, remember, we'll take out the plural. Let's just deal with just one fear at a time. Go forth and make it happen for yourself. You'll feel at least better. Lighter. I'm not going to give you, lighter is a better word, because we do know it's different. It is scary. We understand those pieces as well, but we're here for each and every one of you every step of the way. We, as all of us life changers, we got to stick together, and we got to move forward with just one great thing. And maybe it is just, I don't even know what that is. It's just knowing and acknowledging it, because that takes courage, my friends.
So true. Oh, and we also decided we needed to laugh more these days.
Yes.
So if you guys haven't followed us on TikTok yet, maybe you should. We're on Equine Connection. I think is at Equine Connection is our TikTok handle. But maybe you should, because we've decided we're going to start doing these ridiculous TikToks. Seriously. Just because it amuses us. And we believe it will amuse you too.
It will make us laugh from our belly. And you know, when you laugh and those endorphins come in, you actually do feel better. So the only way we can create the laughter on a regular basis is to make ourselves look like fools.
Yes.
And we're okay with that. I want you all to know it makes us feel better when we look and act like a loser at times.
We actually save the thumbnails that come up where we look horrific on all these lives. We take screenshots of them because we laugh horrendously at them as well. We're going to make a video one day of all the prettiest pictures of us. But Yeah, follow us on TikTok too, because we are going to be starting that up just to get some good laughs. Nothing heavy or long, but laughter is good. It makes us all feel good and lets those endorphins fly and makes us happy. We need more laughter in this world, people. So that's what's coming up on
Laughter. I love that. See, I need some wine. Or some paddocks.
Yeah.
I'm actually a beer chick, but my hoof pick has a beer opener and a wine opener on it.
Yes.
Not that I've ever
Where'd you get
used
that
it as
from?
I was picking my
Was that from
horse's feet.
Miranda?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
the lovely
Miranda.
Miranda.
But even when we have young people in, they're like, what kind of a hoof pick is this? I say it's only for adults.
And I love this, Lori. That was an awesome start. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And we will be on. No, we won't be on next week.
No, next week is a break, but then we will be on after that. So I don't know what week that is, but.
I don't either. But if there is anything that you guys are maybe struggling with or having a tough time, let us know. We are more than happy to do a live about it, different ways to maybe look at things or anything else like that. Let us know what you want to hear about as well, so we can keep going on these lovely lives.
We're in.
Yeah.
And send us stuff that's funny. We'll send you stuff that's funny. Maybe we should have a group with that Horses Changing Lives, where we put in the books to read, the movies to watch, the food to make, the fun ways we can do a different game. I don't know.
I started a post on my personal Facebook page. I think it was a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday. I woke up and I was foul. I read something in the newspaper. Don't read the newspaper first thing in the morning. I can't do it right now. And I read it and I was like, so I put up a post on my Facebook page saying, okay, everybody, we need some laughter in this world. I want everybody to comment on this. Your best funny memes, your funny videos, whatever it takes, jokes, I don't care, throw it in the comments. And people started them coming in, and it was awesome to just have a bunch of funny stuff. And it was all appropriate, nice, funny things, but it was a really nice release for the day to see a bunch of happy things going on that made me laugh. I like them better.
Okay, so signing off, and remember, we are life changers. You are life changers. You are a gift to this world. You are a gift to the Equine Connection. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us and working together.
See you all soon. It ain't clicking.
We might just be smiling at you guys for a while. That's right, because that's what we do. Oh, and if anyone is still on, I actually did get some frankincense for my eye. So thank you all from last week for telling me what I should be using. We'll see if this helps.
It's not going away.
Well, isn't this just interesting?
I can't make it stop.
Well, that.
Do you think if I just hit enter? Okay. That taps. Why doesn't that one tap? Is there something wrong with your thing? Huh. Oh.
Oh, I like your little sounds that you're doing. The Love Boat.
So I don't see any. Oh no, there are still comments up there. I don't know why it's looking so weird.
We are not free. We are in Facebook prison here.
They're not done with us yet.
Holy Toledos. I need freedom. I can't breathe.
Here?
I don't know.
Okay, let's try that. Still doesn't fit right. Like the bottom's gone. Are we live? Huh. I'm going to hit refresh.
Aka bucket Joe Tucka. Will it take
Stop.
There.
Stop.
Yeah.